up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I guess it just shows how excited I am to be back in front of the camera because it has been so long. I finally got my craft room situated so that it's more efficient for larger orders that have come in and I've been working on. So I quickly wanted to show you what I have going on. I picked up this shelf from wayfair.com. I made sure to measure my machines and figure out the dimensions that were online before I ordered it, and it fits perfectly, and it gives me some room over here on the sides so that I can have either decor or useful tools that I need. So I also welcomed a third machine and it has been amazing. I really highly recommend if you have a business and you have orders of like 100 and up. It is so much more efficient for me. It takes me like half of the time and I really don't have any complaints. The only thing that's been a little bit like iffy for me and hit or miss is using the Bluetooth feature. I've found that my machine would jam up or have more errors if I was attempting to use the Bluetooth feature. So I'm not sure that you could see it, but over here in this corner I have my laptop set up so that it's close to the machines and it's connected, and as soon as I do get my jobs going, I can just bring the laptop over there to that corner where it has a little space on this little end table that I picked up from IKEA, and it can run and work that way. So I would love to do a craft room tour for you guys if you guys would love to see one, and if so, let me know by clicking the like button on this video and commenting down below that you would like to see it. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love it so much if you subscribe. And I'm just excited to be back and to be filming more videos for you guys. So I have a tutorial for you guys today. I do have a freebie for you guys, so let's get into it and let me show you guys how to import this file into your Silhouette software so that you guys can create such beautiful paper rolled roses. So let's get into it. Alright, so you guys are going to start by following the link in the description box down below, and that is going to take you directly to the post where the template is to create this beautiful scalloped and rolled rose banner. If you can't, for whatever reason, use the link, you can search Blush and Paper Studio in facebook.com and just look for the post yourself. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull up the post, and this is what the template looks like. What you're going to do is you're going to right click on this photo, and after that you are going to hit Save Image to Downloads. Once you save the image to downloads, you are going to go back to your desktop, and you're going to pull up your folder where your downloads are. So what I do is I usually go to the Finder in my Apple MacBook Pro, and then mine is set up so that the dates are the most recent at the top. So it's that very first image. Here it's going to ask me if I want to duplicate it because I have already saved it to my desktop, so I went ahead and clicked no. So there is the image. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag it onto my mat into my Silhouette software. So once I have done that and it fully loads, it is now in my software. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in for you guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the image, and I'm going to make it bigger. Making it bigger is going to help when I do use the trace feature to trace the images. So that is what I'm going to do next. Is I am going to go to the right hand tool panel, and I am going to click on the little butterfly, and I might be a little bit off frame here, but I'm going to hit the trace area, which is that little butterfly. Then I'm going to hit select trace area, and I'm going to hover over all of the images that I want to trace. So I have clicked it here, and now you see they automatically turned yellow. I'm zooming in to make sure that there isn't any adjustments to the threshold or to the high pass filter or low pass filter that I need to make, and it looks pretty good to me, so I don't have to make any adjustments. I'm gonna go ahead and hit trace outer edge. So now that I have hit trace outer edge, I'm going to move the original image off to the side, and I'm going to take a closer look. I have a little bit of writing right here from my logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go to release compound path. Then I'm going to delete the little leftovers here from my logo. So now that I have done that, it looks like all of the images look pretty good. So I'm going to start clicking on them and then color coding them, or just making them a little bit bigger for you guys. That way you guys can see. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how to line up the banner panels. That way you guys can get a better visual of what this is gonna look like once you guys have imported and traced the image successfully. So I opened the transform panel, which is the little lines that kind of like look to be a little bit offset from each other, and I'm gonna hit center. I've already colored it pink. Now I'm gonna center this other panel, and I'm gonna first color it white, and then I'm gonna hit center as well. I'm also going to bring it forward. That way, when I do center it, it centers on top of my scalloped panel. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So now that I have centered it, it is a beautiful scalloped panel, and I know it might look a little bit wonky because of the way that my laptop is tilting, so I apologize for that. I'll make sure that next time I pay closer attention. So now I have my panels set up. That's what they're gonna look like afterwards. This is not what they're gonna look like when I cut them. So I'm gonna grab my flower, my rolled rose, and I'm gonna color it red for you guys just so that you guys can see it a little bit better. And right now I'm gonna show you guys how I can size my foliage and kind of get a better visual while designing in Silhouette Studio, so that I have a good idea of how it's gonna turn out in real life. So I have duplicated this rose, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop off all of the extra to only really leave the center of it. And it's not going to look like this, but I just want to show you that if I chop the rest of it off, the actual rolled rose, once we get to that part, is going to be approximately this size, maybe a little bit smaller depending on how tight you roll your rose. But this is how you can get a good visual of how you can place the roses once you actually cut out all of your images. So here I'm kind of playing around with the rose of where I want to put it, and so I'm gonna size it and shrink it accordingly. But before I do that, I want to remind you guys that when you are moving this kind of like little mock version, you want to size it with the duplicate together. That way you're moving the size of the actual cut that you're gonna do as well. So that size, I liked it. I moved it over here to the side. Now I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm also gonna duplicate this other mock rose, and I'm gonna color this differently, and I'm using very vibrant and extravagant colors just solely for the purpose of showing you guys the different sizes and kind of like what I'm trying to do here, which is just have a good visualization of what this is going to look like afterwards once I am assembling my banner. So I'm going to go ahead and color this one pink, and now that I've colored it pink, I'm going to go ahead and size these together. So I have my cursor clicked on both of them. I am going to make them bigger, and I have made a third flower now. So I have a small one over there, I have a medium-sized one, and then this blue one that I colored, I'm gonna make it bigger. So you can see that as I make this blue one bigger, the actual cut grows with it as well. So I want to show you guys that if you guys are going to try this method for visualization, you want to make sure that you click on them at the same time. That way it's growing while you're resizing it. So now I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm gonna see how many roses that I'm gonna add to each banner panel. So later on I am going to actually not use as many as I did here, because it actually turned out to be a little too crowded and a little bit too extra for the banner that I wanted to create. But that's just kind of a little tip that I'm going here. So for this one, I wanted to do one larger one in the center and then 2 on the side. So I only ended up using 3 on each banner panel. And you'll see that a little bit later on. So now I'm going to show you guys how you can size your foliage to what placements for the rosettes you're going to do. So this is going to show me like how big to go, and also give me a good idea of how I'm going to want to place these when I do have my banners all finished. So I am going to click on the foliage. I already colored it green for you guys, and now I am going to replicate this to the left. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to the top, and I'm going to hit object, and then I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to hit replicate, and then I'm going to go to hit mirror left hit mirror left, and then I'm going to send that to the back. And I had a little bit of trouble here, it didn't listen to me, so I'm going to hit send to the back layer, and I really love how this looks. Now I'm going to move my panel, and I really thought that, like, I'm visualizing with my color palette what this is going to look like, and I really loved how this looked. So now that I have that set up, what I'm going to do now is split up each layer, and I have filmed that for you guys, but I think I'm going to speed it up a little bit because you guys kind of have the idea of how to split up the layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything off to the side. Right now I'm setting up my mat for my scalloped panels, and then I'm going to show you one little trick before I fast forward it. So I can fit 2 panels on one sheet of 8.5 by 11-inch paper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the side. I actually don't really need those faux rosettes. So here I type in a text, and I'm putting in cut 2. I need 3 panels because this is for a high chair banner that is going to spell 1, but obviously I don't want to waste paper. I'm just going to go ahead and cut an extra one. You never know either. Sometimes your machine messes up. So I have it set up to cut 2. I've already copied and pasted my next image. So now I'm pasting it on to a new tab. So this is going to be the top layer of my banner panel. This is going to be in the color white. So I am trying to see how many I could fit on one mat. I need 3 of these, and luckily with the size that I am making today, I can fit 3 onto one sheet of paper. This high chair banner is on the smaller side, but it fit my high chair perfectly. You might want to make yours a little bit bigger, but here I'm putting cut 1, and this is just a really good tip for a reminder of how many papers you're gonna need to set aside and get ready to cut, and also as you're cutting, just so that you know how many more you have left to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the rest of this, and I will see you guys when it's time to start cutting. Unfortunately, my camera did die, so I'm gonna show you a little clip of my machine cutting, and then we will start the assembly process because I went ahead and cut everything out in advance and off camera. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. guys, I wanted to let you know what paper I am using, and I picked up a sheet of open stock paper from Michaels, and this one was called Bay Leaf by Martha Stewart, and then I have this pack of rose toned paper as well. Alright you guys, I'm back. Unfortunately my camera died, so I had to go and just get everything cut because I didn't have any time to put this video off any longer, and I of course want to get it up and running. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a tutorial on how to roll the paper roses. So I have a little quilling tool by the Cuttlebug brand, and I've had this for such a long time, so I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to find this specific tool, but I know Cricut has a quilling tool, so just look it up, or you know what, let me link it down below for you guys. If not, you guys can use tweezers. Pointy ones like this would work best, but I have used the tweezer bees as well. So if you guys have tweezer bees or anything, that will work also. So this is what the smallest flower looks like. Excuse my nails, I do need to get them done again. But what I'm gonna do really quick is I'm gonna curve my paper a little bit. That way when I roll it, we don't have as many dents. And this isn't necessary, but it is just an extra step that I want to take just to make sure that my flowers are pretty, and I don't really want to see a lot of dents in them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to roll each of the sizes, and then from there I'm going to just come back when I have all of my roses rolled. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold your flower and you're going to get your quilling tool. So a quilling tool has a little space in between it so that you can place your paper in between the two little sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my quilling tool as close to the edge as possible, and then I'm going to roll. So you could see with my wrist over here, I'm rolling. I'm going to keep rolling, and then I'm just going to continue rolling. So I have my finger at the bottom right here, and that's helping me guide, and I'm also guiding my tool with my thumb. So I'm rolling, I'm catching another turn, so I hold it here while I turn it. I'm rolling, and we're just gonna keep on rolling, guys. Sometimes you might lose the traction of your paper with like your tool, and it might come undone, and you just unroll it, and then you could just continue rolling again. So let me keep rolling. Okay, once you get to the end, it gets a little tricky. As you can see here, my paper ripped a little bit, but that's okay. I want to try and roll it all the way. So that's what it looks like now. What I'm going to do now is with all of my fingers, I'm just going to hold it and pull. And I want to hold it closed as long as I can, at least like 15 seconds. That way my flower can have a new like shape of the way it falls. So now I'm gonna hold my hand out and I'm gonna let go, and it unrolled. So you can, depending on what you like, leave the flower as is, or you can unroll it a little bit by like untwisting it. I like it like this, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. Now I'm gonna grab my hot glue gun, and this is the little tab where I'm gonna put glue on. So this is what the bottom looks like, and I'm gonna grab my hot glue gun and I'm just gonna place some glue right here, and I want to do plenty, so I did like about 1.5 pulling on the trigger. And then I'm gonna grab my other tweezers. I'm gonna use the bottom just so that I don't burn myself to help me close this, and then I'm gonna press. So I want to make sure that the glue is fully dried on my paper rose before I let it go. You can see I got some glue here on my little tool, but that's okay because it's metal. Now with the top of these tweezers, I'm going to push that in. That way I'm pushing it into the glue. Okay, there's one. I'm going to go ahead and set it down. Okay guys, I am showing you guys how to roll the other two sizes, but I'm going to go ahead and speed through it. And I also wanted to let you guys know that from my experience, the heavier your cardstock is, the harder it is to roll, and you might find more creases. So the paper that I am using is a 65-pound cardstock, and I found that this cardstock weight rolls the smoothest. I have rolled an 80-pound cardstock, and I was able to get it to roll semi-smooth, but I did have certain rosettes that would have dents and creases. Just because the paper is so heavy, it doesn't manipulate as smoothly. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I hope you guys enjoy the footage of me rolling the additional 2 roses, and then I will see you guys when it's time to assemble the banner. Okay, what I am doing now is I am going to start adding the adhesive to my white layer for my banner, and I am using this Tombow adhesive from Michaels. It came in the 3-pack and I really love it, especially just for like a quick adhesive. I do have an ATG gun, but I really enjoy using this one as well. So I'm adding the layers to each panel, and on that one I noticed a little imperfection, so I grabbed a new one. And honestly, now that I think about it, it wouldn't have mattered because I was gonna cover up that area anyways. So I love these colors in this blush toned paper pack from Michaels, and it was I bought it on a day where it was like buy 5 for $10 or something like that. So this whole pack of paper was like $3. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding a liquid adhesive, and I'm using this glue pen that I picked up from Michaels. I've actually had it for a few years and it still works, but if they don't carry it, then I'm sure they carry something similar. So I am adding it. What's cool about this pen is if you add your letters while the glue is still wet, it is permanent, but if you wait and let it air out a little bit and get tacky, then it is semi-removable. So now I'm finding the proper placement on the banner panels, and honestly I should have done this part last once I had my roses and foliage on, because for this E I noticed that it is a little higher, if not like it just wasn't placed right once all the pretty stuff was added on. So that's a tip for you guys. Hopefully maybe you guys can learn from my mistakes. So what I'm doing now is I am getting a good idea of where I want the foliage, and I decided I wanted it pointing down instead of upwards like I had originally designed it in the Silhouette Studio. So now I'm adding this same adhesive to all of the leaves except for that top one, and on a few I did forget and I added it to the top one anyways, but that's okay. So I have these glued down, and now I'm gonna grab my roses and show you how I adhere those. So I'm starting with my first panel, and I got all of my roses ready to go. I am actually gonna be gluing these on with a hot glue gun. I think that this is the way that I'm gonna get these to stay on my panels the most securely. So I'm gonna start by grabbing my bigger rose first, and oh my god, just setting it on top, it looks so pretty. So I'm gonna add glue to the bottom flap, and I'm just gonna figure out where it's gonna look the prettiest. I want to make sure that I have it pushed up as close to the top as possible, and be very modest with your glue, because as you can see, once I pressed it onto the panel, it kind of seeped through and got on my finger. So I am adding the next size here, and I love this banner already. So I'm gonna show you, this is where I realized that the amount of flowers that I had planned on and I had cut out previously was a little bit excessive, because this looks pretty enough already. So once I grab my smaller roses, I'm like, what, that is a little bit too extra, and it just didn't come out as I had planned. So I decided to just mix and match the roses and stick to the 3 that I had originally planned. And here you see me playing with it and trying to make it work, but actually I just loved it with the 3. So that's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll continue with the assembly. Okay, this is what my banners look like all assembled, and I wanted to show you guys the tool that I'm using to punch holes into the banner. This is a Crop-a-dile puncher by We Are Memory Keepers. This is in the color pink. I bought this so many years ago, so I'm not sure if they still carry this specific one, but I know my sister just got herself one in teal, so they do have something similar. And I am weeding through this 1.5 inch white satin ribbon, and that's pretty much it. This is the finished product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video and this free template, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you made your way to my Facebook page, make sure you like my Facebook page as well. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.